isn't this a surprise? We are not Ollie, obviously, but we are Tarra and Matt and Trudi. We're going to be having a little chat this afternoon just to have a little talk through about the difference. Let me explain. Matt here, he is the co-founder and CTO of Fingertip, which is a scale-up business. Thank you very much. He's also one of the top 30 under 30 by Forbes magazine, voted by Forbes magazine. And this is his second business. His first one got bought out by really important people. And so he's well established in running his own business. Tarra, we met earlier today, head of design at Atlassian. Also an incredible woman. We heard about you before. You may notice she was talking earlier. So we have two people with us, one with a small business, one with a large business. And we are going to talk about how do we connect with our customers when we are small scale and when we are large scale. Before we do, it's been a long day. So firstly, I'd love us to stand, or don't stand, just take a breath with me. Take a big breath up and a big breath out. And as you do, I want you to think about the fact that we are now about to share knowledge and wisdom through breath and conversation. And that breath and conversation is being added to all of the millions and millions and millions of breaths and conversation that have been happening on this beautiful land. I pay my respects to the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation and are honoured to add our breath today as we welcome any elders past and present. And now, let's chat. I'm going to hand over to these two, and I'm going to start by asking both of you, interestingly, both of you have had very, very established careers, but in different veins, right? Matt, yours in the small business world, and Tarra, yours in Atlassian. And I would love to know, you both have these blowing careers. What was it that led you down the path of working for a large organisation and working for yourself? What were those choices?
I'll start. So, my experience was sort of being alone on my computer when I was a teenager, just coding, teaching myself, like very self-taught. And out of high school, I was thankful enough to land an internship at a startup just in Collingwood. And so my whole sort of career has been these small agencies, startups, until in uni I co-founded a startup, VenueSafe, which was just a basic QR code contact tracing startup during COVID. That got acquired by Mr. Yum, and that was kind of the biggest company I've ever worked at. I was employee number 30. It grew up to 300 people, and they relocated me to Austin, Texas. So that was like a small startup within a scale-up. Then when I came back to Melbourne, I thought it's time for me to go off on my own again. And that's when I co-founded Fingertip. So I've sort of always been in these small teams, just on the tools, heads down, building.
Because engineering background.
Engineering
background, so not traditional design background.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I love how casual you are too. I started this company, I kept everybody safe, and then they got acquired, taken to Texas. Nothing major. Amazing, yeah? Yep. So that was your journey to get here?
Yeah.
Start up with Fingertip?
Yeah, exactly. So small teams, just through and through.
Great. Tarra, how about you? How did you end up where you are?
Yeah, I was told I was going to run our family home-based business in rural Canada. My parents had a fire extinguisher company, and that was just what we did. That was what we saw at home. And I saw the kind of ups and downs of like effort and financial security, and it felt very unstable. And so I got an opportunity to go to uni, and I was asked if I wanted to join management consulting at a uni. And I was like, yeah. And it was crazy. It was like big companies and thousands of people. And I really liked, just seeing how it's really done. But since then, I don't have any determined path. I switched into design 10 years ago. I've worked for small agencies, big ones. Agencies been acquired by big companies. Now Atlassian, kind of done all the different things in between. And I kind of flip-flop. So I was running an agency. It closed during COVID, and I was like, well, we're not going to do that again. So going to Atlassian, that was absolutely smashing it, and said, we're going to grow by all these numbers. And there's like an ice cream fridge in the kitchen. I was like, I'm in. So
ice cream fridge in the kitchen. Check, I'll take the job.
but it was like, it's not so much about a small business or agency and consulting or big company have their trade-offs in terms of opportunity and pay and dynamicism. But it's always just about interesting work with interesting people, and whatever opportunity came on my path, I jumped on it.
Okay. And let's talk about that interesting people, because actually both of you have to connect with your customers, listen to your customers, right? But on a very different scale. I don't mean to be presumptuous, Matt, but I would imagine that you have a little smaller customer base than Atlassian. I'd love to know the similarities and the differences of that. How do you connect with your customers? Because it's really pivotal for both of you for varying reasons.
Yeah, I think we're obviously a small team with starting from zero product and just taking that leap. And that's where you're in kind of that stage of just MVP, just putting something together and testing your idea. I think what's changed maybe with all the AI tools, with the quality of the products that's out there, it's less about that MVP and more about, is it, I guess, like Ryan said, just in the design talk, he was like, it's a minimum lovable product. And so it's that tension. It's like, we want to put something out there, but it actually needs to meet this high standard. And then what we faced is we put something out there. We were really proud of it, but I think our strategy for putting it out there wasn't hitting that segment where they used our product consistently. So what we saw is like, we launched splashy launch. We had 5,000 signups on day one, which we were like, oh my God, we're a success. We've done it. But what we found out is like only, I guess, 2% of those users ended up returning and coming back. So we had them at the start and we lost them just because we weren't speaking to the right people.
And so how did you turn that around? How did you then go, okay, we've only got 2% that we're retaining. Let's nail in and find out what the issue is.
Yeah, exactly. And with our team, we were able to speak to every single one of those customers. We were really able to just be there for them and like figure out, where is this, where are you finding value in this? Where are you dropping off? Was also like, we realized we had rough edges that we had to fix up. But yeah, just honing in who are actually using it, who are coming back, where are we providing value? How can we kind of drive something that's useful, not just a nice to have?
Which, as you said that, we spoke to every single one of our customers. I had this beautiful image, Tarra, of you coming in and like thumping giant books down, and we're speaking to every Atlassian customer. Wow. Can't be done, right?
No, and I've just been running this, one of the largest A/B experiments Atlassian's ever done by redesigning our navigation, which is every single user. And we had, because
how many? Can I ask how many?
so publicly we're not allowed to say how many users, but
Not even for us. Like, it's not going anywhere.
We do publicly say we have 300,000 business customers, and that's everywhere from small business all the way up to large enterprise. Like connecting with them, we started as a small company, and we have a lot of methods that are still, baked into that startup method and process. So what that meant is when I came along to do this big, really, really big launch, we had a feedback collector where we just got individual tickets from customers, and we had tens of thousands of them, and our team freaked out because we're like, they expect us to respond to these, and we just can't. So like, what are we going to do? So I was like, change the feedback collector that doesn't say we'll get back to you. And then we had to use AI to like analyze all of these tickets to go, what are the themes? Because it was just overwhelming for the team. And I had a manager who was like literally sweating bullets for weeks. He's like, Tarra, I have to go through the feedback collector. I was like, mate, I spent 5 hours last night going through it. This is not a good use of anyone's time. Like, we have to work really differently to understand what customers are saying. And one thing that I liked about what Matt said is, really that honing in aspect of who your customers are. We're in like this pivot where we serve a lot of tech teams and a lot of small businesses. So like a dev team in a medium-sized company buys Jira. And as a company, we want to move to other types of users like marketing, HR, legal, business users in big companies. That's like such a big shift. And the hard part about us listening to customers, we're so used to listening to that dev team. And I'm like, no, we want to hear what these people have to say. And turning that ship of saying we have so much feedback, but let's only look at this pool is actually quite a big culture change for us.
So what I'm hearing from both of you is that actually the listening part is the similarity between your customer bases, but the means of how you listen has to be different according to the variation or the customer size.
Yeah, but you
That'd be
also need
fair.
like sometimes a bit of thick skin. Like I came from a small company where we would be face to face with every customer. Then I joined Atlassian and there's like a website that's called IHateJira.com. And I was like, the shame. And all my designer friends are like, yeah, fix that shit. And I was like, oh, this is like just really, really stressful. So you have that as well of going, we do have millions of positive customers, but we also have a lot of people that, you know, are kind of dogpiling. So
Yeah.
There's
I think
that. Do you have that, Matt? Yeah.
Well, I just think on a different end of the spectrum, we have 0 customers. So we don't even have hate or love. So we can kind of just be like, okay, today we're doing this. We can really be a bit cowboy, I guess, about updating the homepage, iterating, having a concept in the morning and then executing by like 9:05.
Yeah.
Because there's not that expectation of established patterns of behavior, like you were mentioning. If you want to change an icon, like that needs to go through A/B testing at a grand scale. For us, we can iterate towards improvement without much friction or
and it's just like you probably just need to speak to 3 people in your team to make a decision. Whereas like I'm running a platform experience and I need to talk to 12 product teams and they need to like mull it over and then they'll come back into Send and I'm like, okay, we just need to make a decision about said icon. And that can be a challenge as well. But on the other side, you have less agility, but then the impact is there. For me in my career in design, I'd always worked on service design or business design or just concepts. I actually, until I came to Atlassian, had very few things that actually were in market I could point to. And now that there's stuff in market that people are using and the user base is really large, I'm like, that's fucking awesome. So there's that there as well. Yeah.
So I guess, you know, there are choices along career choices. As you said, Tarra, you didn't start in working in large organizations. You worked in small organizations. And Matt, you have dabbled in large.
scale up.
Scale up. Thank you. I'm sure Fingertip will become scale up. If you were to impart one final message for people in terms of connecting with customers from a small business space and from a large organizational space, what is probably the one benefit of it and the one challenge that you both face just before we round up?
I think you can always just pick up the phone. You could ask someone for a coffee. You can speak to them face to face, and like there's a small barrier. I'm the dev, so if I speak to someone, I can make that fix or make the design change. But then on the other side of that, if we're trying to do an experiment, maybe there's not enough volume. So I can't really do an A/B test with 1 million users and like figure out through science kind of where is the right decision. I'm stuck on my gut a bit, maybe more than I should be.
Yeah, right. And before we move to you, Tarra, I would get such a thrill if not only a human rang me, but B, the founder of an organization rang me for my feedback. Do people just like flip their pants and just be like, you're what? You're who?
Well, like I'm in the chat support and I'm anonymous. Like,
Come on.
yeah, I should really just
Have you ever had someone angry that's like, can I speak to your manager? And you're like, I am the
sometimes if it's negative, I'll be like, my team will get back to you. And I just like,
Like me creating a fake VA. Okay, so that's really interesting. And Tarra, well, how about yourself?
What was the original question again?
My question was, if you're talking about working with customers in a large organization, what do you think the benefits of that are? And then also, what are the challenges?
Yeah, I think the benefits are, well, it's good to hear what they have to say, but I would say the flip side of that is then they expect you to do something with their feedback. So I think that's a challenge. And I think the other challenge is when you're trying to do it at scale, it's very easy to not go deep enough and not ask the why. So just, gathering a huge swath of information isn't always helpful, but really getting to like, so why did they say that? Buying or not buying, there could be 10,000 different reasons. So I think that's a challenge to always go broad versus deep.
Great. Thank you so much. I think what we have learnt is that the whys are the same, the listening is the same, but the approach is very different. The challenges are both greater on both sides, or the rewards are great on both sides. And if you have anything to do with Fingertip and you have an anonymous person in the chat, you now know who it is, and we will forever be questioning how many customers Atlassian has. Please thank our guests. Thank you so much, Matt and Tarra. Thank you.